You have free will. You're the most powerful being existing, bro. As far as in this realm. In this realm, anybody or anything that has free will. And everything and everybody has free will, bro. Even the plants have free will. The ground has free will. The sea has free will. Everything has free will. That's why we exist where we exist. That's why this is paradise, bro. Because everybody has free will. Meaning everybody, I don't want to say God, but everybody is somewhat of a version of what some people might call a God. Not God, but a God. Just because everything and everything in this realm has free will. And everything that's trying to get into this realm is jealous of that. And they want a piece of that. So they want you to give away that power that you have. They want you to stop yourself from being God and make them God, bro. That's what this whole thing is about. They want you to give your power to them of being God. So not being God, of you being a God. To a certain sense. So they can take that power and they can be that. They can be God over you. And God over whatever you create and whatever bubble you create. It's all about, what I mean is you being God is you being God of whatever you create. The same way how when you read all these spiritual books and all that stuff, they tell you God is God over you because God created you, right? So it's the same way, and God, that same God they claim gave you free will. So what that means whatever you create, you are God over that as well, which is why you have the power to create. I'm not talking about necessarily you creating another human being, because that's deeper than you just creating that. That's a whole nother thing that involves other things. I'm talking about after you're a human being, whatever you create. It could be music, it could be movies, it could be words, it could be clothes, it could be a table, it could be a philosophy, it could be a mindset. You God over that. Because that's the whole concept of it. Whatever you create, you can be God over that. The same way how they tell you God created you, so that's your God. So that's the whole concept of it. Whatever you create, you could be God over. You God over because you created that. And I'm not talking about necessarily another human being. Because then that goes into the concept of, if you believe in these things, that God created you or something else created you. So whatever you create is another lineage of that. So it doesn't necessarily mean you God over that, which is why another mistake some people think, because they have kids or whatever they have, that they God over that. There's other things involving in that. But that's another story. We're not going to go into that right now. But everything else you create, that's not that. That as far as like, whatever, you God over that, or you can be God over that. And that's the power of free will. And that's the power that so-called human beings have. And it's deep, and it's not crazy. It's regular. It's regular.